You're listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology. I'm your host, Jeff Henshaw. Cosmic Cousins is a weekly astrology podcast dedicated to creating a sacred container for deepening your connection to the cosmos. Each episode offers space for ritual, meditation, and contemplation, supporting your journey of embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. Thanks for tuning in.
Gold in my skin carries the weight of my kin.
Hey, Cosmic Cousins. Welcome back to another podcast episode. This is a very special one for the Scorpio Full Moon, which finds itself right here in the heart of Taurus season in 2026, May 1st, Beltane on the Northern Hemisphere, which marks the halfway point between spring and summer. It's an exciting episode. I'm titling this episode Scorpio Full Moon on the Verge of Tears or Rage. This is inspired by my conversation with Embodied Astrology martial artist Kendra Smith, who is the guest on our podcast today. You don't want to miss this convo. Kendra Smith is a Scorpio kickboxer, stuntwoman, celebrity trainer, former WWE pro wrestler, and founder of Forge Studio in Los Angeles. With over 16 years of training under 8-time world champion Peter Sugarfoot Cunningham, Kendra's work bridges performance, athleticism, and empowerment. Kendra and I first met through Heidi Rose Robbins astrology retreats, where we've both shown up as participants and co-facilitators for those retreats. So we both share a devotion and a love of embodied, heart-centered practice. And so in our conversation today for this Scorpio Full Moon, Kendra shares her groundbreaking new offering, which is called Lunar League. It's a fusion of astrology and martial arts that invites participants to embody their astrology through movement. She pairs each zodiac sign with a different martial art, which we talk about in our conversation today. And Kendra's work transforms astrology into a somatic lived experience. And so together, we explore how movement becomes a portal for emotional release, resilience, and personal myth-making, especially now in times of intensity and during change. And then it's one of my favorite whimsical wanderings that we've done, which is a stream of consciousness journey that we do. We close out our conversation with me guiding Kendra through an intuitive stream of consciousness journey into the realm of Scorpio. And we receive a visit from a dolphin, Scorpio Bob Ross, and the Page of Cups from Lindsay Mack's new tarot deck, Soul Tarot. So you'll want to stick around for that. A few things about this Scorpio full moon. You know, this is a time where emotions may feel heightened. I think the title of this episode, On the Verge of Tears or Rage, speak to this. So if you're listening to this live when it is a Scorpio full moon, know that this is a time of year where psychological insights may resurface. The desire for intimacy and transformation may feel heightened or strong at this time. It's the one Scorpio full moon of the year here in 2026. And so this full moon does offer a potent moment to process the deep transformations that have been unfolding for you throughout this past year. So any unresolved emotions that have been lingering underneath the depths may rise now, ready to be revealed or healed or released. And in our conversation, you'll even feel that just when things arise from the depths doesn't always mean that it has to be scary. It can also be joyful and playful, which the dolphin gave us that message in today's conversation. Again, another thing, I'd mentioned this full moon falls on Beltane here on the Northern Hemisphere. So this is the halfway point between spring and summer. So it is finding itself in the heart of Taurus season. And we know Taurus season is a time of the year to honor the earth, our body, and the material world. So we're keeping that in mind with this Taurus Scorpio polarity. In addition, I want to also share that this year holds a rare rhythm. We have two full moons in the month of May, the Scorpio full moon on May 1st, followed by a Sagittarius full moon on May 31st. So we're opening and closing the month with this illumination. But whether or not you're listening to this live, this conversation is going to deepen your connection to Scorpio, our fixed water sign. Before we dive into the depths of this conversation, speaking of diving into the depths, I do have a new offering that is available for purchase and enrollment. It's a Sedna workshop download. It's a deep dive into the wounded feminine archetype, into mystical depths and sovereign power. The Sedna workshop download, one of the titles I have for it is The Ocean Beyond Betrayal. It's a deep, immersive offering exploring Sedna as both a distant trans-Neptunian body. It's a new TNO planetoid that's been discovered in the last decade or so. Sedna is a sea goddess whose mythology speaks to betrayal, survival, and profound transformation. So this workshop is going to invite you to work with Sedna as an archetype of exile, becoming power, guiding you into psychic depth, intuitive awakening, and the reclamation of voice. You'll receive a 90-minute audio transmission along with a rich PDF. It has tarot spreads in there, reflection prompts, chart examples, along with somatic practices, ritual guidance, altar creation, and a curated mixtape to embody Sedna's emotional landscape. This is time with Sedna's recent movement into Gemini alongside Uranus and the Pleiades that have all shifted into Gemini. So this offering explores this collective moment where silent stories are rising and communication is becoming a site for healing. We also honor Sedna's indigenous origins, reflecting on what it means to engage with archetypes and how it speaks to themes of colonization within our work as modern astrologers. So if any of these topics speak to you, I would be honored to be a guide for you. It's now open for enrollment here on the Scorpio Full Moon, May 1st, 2026, and it will be delivered to you on the Taurus new moon, which is coming up in 2 weeks. I wrote the date down wrong. I'm seeing on May 16th is the day that you'll receive it. So this is a body of work that's designed to support you in navigating transformation, truth, and embodied wisdom. This workshop download will be available on my website. You can check it out, cosmiccousins.com/Sedna to learn more. And also, I have a new offering, another new offering. It's been out for about a month now. It's called Cosmic Mixtape, which is a soundtrack for your soul. It is a personalized astro birth chart reading woven with music. So I choose 12 songs, one for each house or one for each sign in your birth chart, and then talk to you about it through a recording. And what's cool is our guest today, Kendra Smith, actually was part of a performance I did at a astrology retreat where I was transitioning from I did like a 20-second clip for each zodiac sign in my chart and then did a performance to it. And so my song for Pisces, I have Mercury and Jupiter in Pisces, was On and On by Pisces Erykah Badu. And during that 20 seconds, I was shuffling oracle cards and, being all mystical as that song was playing. And then we know when things transition from Pisces to Aries, it can be quite a shift. And so then after the 20 seconds of the deep dive into Pisces, Fast Car by Tracy Chapman came on. I think that was it was a song by Tracy Chapman. I think it was a different one. I think it was Revolution. Makes sense. I have Mars and Aries. And so then Kendra came on and put boxing gloves on me, and we did kickboxing for 20 seconds during that song to represent my Mars and Aries. So I did this it was like a 5-minute performance where I embodied each of the planets in my chart, kind of like speed round, but Kendra was a part of that. So I'm thinking about that with this new offering, Cosmic Mixtape, and I'm thinking of that as we transition into this incredible conversation with my dear friend, Kendra Smith, Scorpio Astro Martial Artist. So let's go ahead and tune into this conversation now. Honored to be here today with my dear friend Kendra, who is a Scorpio sun.
Mhm.
So this is happy half birthday time of year for you. Whenever that's the Scorpio full moon, it means we're on the other side of the wheel, which is always in Taurus season. So thanks for being here today with us on Cosmic Cousins.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful.
Yeah. I've wanted to have you on the podcast for some time, but I feel like now's the right time because in this past year you have launched into the world this new offering. Would you like to share with us what this offering is and how it connects to astrology?
Sure. Yes, I have created something very exciting. It's called Lunar League, and for like 15 years, I've been bringing movement to astrology retreats. So this is something that I've been doing for a long time. But maybe a year and a half ago, I create these movement pieces based on they're inspired by katas, but I use the planets and the elements and the signs and maybe transits to create these really powerful martial arts influenced movement pieces with women. And during that retreat, there was just kind of one of those massive hits of like, oh,
Hmm.
wait, this is, first of all, each sign has like the most wonderful match of a martial art. And
Hmm.
how can we kind of wield this energy of the zodiac to inspire people to move in powerful ways based on their unique strengths? And that is
Yeah.
how Lunar League was initially born.
Yeah. And we actually it's making me think I was hanging out with a friend this week who's like really into anime. And it
Mm,
kind of reminds me of like Lunar League sounds like an anime show to me or something like that.
for sure.
Um, and there's usually a lot of martial arts and things like that in anime, I feel like. But that's how we met. We met through a Radiant Life retreat with Heidi Rose Robbins. And usually I would say every Radiant Life retreat that I've been on, Kendra at some point during the retreat leads us through embodied movement, not only with the signs, but also I remember you having us embody like Uranus or, like there, you incorporate the planets as well too. So,
Sure.
um, it's been really transformative experience getting to work with you. And I think it's so exciting that you have paired with each zodiac sign a different martial arts.
Yes, because as I was creating these, there are certain signs I feel like that maybe read fighter more than others
Hmm.
that you would be like, yeah,
Hmm.
I'll throw you in the ring for sure. And
Hmm.
kind of my whole brand, whether it sounds cheesy or not, is, there is a warrior inside of everyone. There is a fighter
Yeah.
inside of everyone. There is a strength that maybe you haven't even ever tapped into. And so on that day, it was like, oh, wait, it's not that there are only a few fighters or a few stronger.
Yeah.
It's that they all have different fighting styles. And that kind of sent me down
Yeah.
this wild path of knowing exactly, I'm a big martial arts nerd, um,
Hmm.
and kind of deciding what paired best with each sign. And you were speaking to anime. I created these amazing designs and
Yeah.
shirts and journals and stuff because I could see the action figure of each sign.
Totally. Yeah, I have the Aquarius shirt myself. And I hope at some point during our convo week, I think everyone's going to want to know what their sign is. And we had talked about this before, so I would just want to do it with you now on the podcast. But would you be willing to not only share your big three, your sun, moon, and rising, but do it with the martial arts?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Okay.
I I was hoping you wanted me to, do the martial art form right here on the podcast. But yes, yes, absolutely. My sun is Scorpio. Scorpio for sure is ninjutsu. Ninjutsu we know more familiarly as ninja, right?
Mm,
And the kind of modern version of ninja is in the all black and it's in the action films, but for for a very long time, ninjas were almost like hiding in plain sight. They wouldn't necessarily wear the black. They would dress like a commoner and they would be among the people, but they had this massive toolbox of skills. And kind of the idea was any and all means necessary, to end their opponent or whoever needed to be taken out. I know that sounds a little
mm,
um,
mm,
and I think the biggest part is there's a real secrecy to it. There's a real mystery to it. And it uses darkness as an ally. It's like when
mm.
you are blind or confused or, wandering around, that's where I see everything. That's where I light
Wow.
up. That's where I know exactly when to strike. Like that's my happy place. So,
Whoa. So
yeah.
you're a jutsu? Is that how you say?
Yes.
Ninjutsu sun.
Yes, I'm a ninja.
Yeah. And what's your moon?
My moon is Leo. Leo is Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai might be familiar, might not be. From Thailand, of course. It is very dynamic, explosive. It's the art of eight limbs. It's knees, elbows, punches, kicks. Um,
Whoa.
it is, if you go to, besides the fact that it's a very fiery, dynamic,
Ex-
exciting form,
Expressive.
very aggressive. It requires a lot of like courage. It's very, very bold. Um, it's very, there's a big performative aspect to it as well. When I was in Thailand watching a more authentic version, there's a massive ceremony that takes place before the event. Once the fighters get in the event, there is music, there is a dance, it almost rivals kind of our boxing as far as how
Hmm.
much it is this massive, like, radiant performance. So
Yeah.
that's why it had to be a good match for Leo.
I have a few different drag personas, and one of them is Foxy Blade,
Yes,
and
Blade.
Sonya Blade is like my mother. Um,
Sure.
you're giving Blade. You could be like Kendra Blade.
Oh
That's the vibe
gosh.
I'm getting from you right now. I'm just trying to like, because this is just audio. So whoever doesn't know Kendra, you could check out their Instagram and see them like live in action. But yeah, you're a Ninjutsu sun with a Muay Thai moon.
Yes.
Have you
And
sat with that before? What does that feel like? Because those are very different practices. And I think that allows us to feel this is cool because it's teaching us astrology, but it's also teaching us martial arts because I don't know anything about it really,
for
except
sure,
for like kickboxing, really.
for sure. I think that's kind of what the fun is about this is that, like, right now, for example, for Lunar League and for what I'm trying to launch into the world, I got to call on Leo, because
Hmm. Hmm.
Scorpio's going to want to dive deep and
Hmm.
keep this mysterious, amazing secret that she's been conjuring up. And Leo's like, well, now we share it with the world. We use that fire, we put it
Hmm.
out there, we're bold, we lead with our heart. So it's like it also is something that I can myself go into those movements to conjure a little bit more energy of maybe the one that I need on the day.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like, I don't know if you've done this, but I feel like you could do a one-on-one personal training session with someone that is also like their birth chart, where you like go through the different martial arts based off of their big three. Have you done anything like that?
I have, because for the last, since I kind of started thinking about this, I have 100% been using it with my clients. And
Hmm.
I know all their big three, and I'm also doing it based on where the moon is that day, right? And it's been like fascinating to see how aligned it is and to go, okay, this day we're going to maybe thrive here, and this day we're going to thrive here. Everyone's game, whether they're like super into astrology or not, they're feeling, they can't deny how aligned it feels on that day. That I can kind of
Yeah.
have like a hit of maybe where we're going to do well, either based on their big three or what's happening on the day.
Well, martial arts, would think historically, even so, is a very intuitive practice.
Hmm.
So I think it's interesting to see how it's weaving together with this very intuitive psychic practice of astrology. There is some interesting overlap that I didn't really think about until you started bringing these two practices together.
For sure. Because I think for me, because I have this big martial arts background, they don't seem that far away. Like for
Yeah.
someone else, they're like, wait, martial arts and astrology, like this is wild. But for me, there are so many parallels and overlaps and the spiritual connection because true martial arts is like doing a deep dive, gaining insight, more discipline.
Hmm.
It's a meditative state, it's connection to higher power. It's all of those things that I also can find in astrology.
Hmm. And I think there's also something about like finding inner peace and balance too, which is taking us to your rising sign.
Who's that? Miss Libra?
Miss Libra.
Libra is Wing Chun. And that
Mm.
might be a less familiar one, but it was Bruce Lee's original form,
Oh.
if you can kind of imagine that.
Hmm.
I always reference martial arts movies that no one knows, but if you've
Hmm.
ever seen any of the Ip Man movies, it is a very beautiful form. It's a very refined form. It's very close quarters. They do something in training called sticky hands. It's all about that like relationship of moving very quickly,
Mm.
beautifully. And the biggest thing that like called to the Libra was it's all based on this center line theory, which is
Hmm.
basically you looking at your opponent and kind of creating a vertical line down their body, making sure
Wow.
you're maintaining perfect balance to be able to throw them off of their equilibrium. which to
You
me,
know, the Libras in my life definitely do that. They're like in perfect balance, and it's like, yeah, that makes
sure,
sense.
that's the
Wow.
intention to be like, I'm going to use your stuff against you. I'm going to be
Yeah.
right here and balanced.
It is making me think of the esoteric phrase for Libra, but I don't actually want to explore that esoteric phrase. I want to explore Scorpios because we're gathering in honor of the Scorpio full moon.
Yes.
And I learned the esoteric phrases originally from Heidi, and I use them so much in my practice. And so when it's a Scorpio full moon, I'll bring the esoteric phrase just in as a meditation to help navigate that moment in time. And so the esoteric phrase for Scorpio, do you remember it?
Warrior am I, and from the battle I emerge triumphant.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that feels like such a different way to connect to Scorpio than how pop culture might sell Scorpio to us.
Sure.
Because it's connecting in with the Martian side of Scorpio, which is the warrior. How is that esoteric phrase meeting you at this moment in time as we're building momentum towards a Scorpio full moon?
It's just such a superpower to me. And it's something that like that phrase, for example, is a reminder constantly, and I utilize it as well, that like no matter how dark, no matter how, I will emerge triumphant. I will emerge triumphant, like no matter what I'm
Hmm.
going through. And kind of finding peace in the darkness or in the tough times or in the like underworld, going, this, I have to be down here, or I want to be down here in my case. And I want to navigate this because like this is where the treasures are. This is where the gold is. This is what will transform my life. So even if it's challenging, I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm going to dive in.
Yeah. And I think, Scorpio and Aries, both ruled by Mars, are warrior archetypes, but there's something about Scorpio being the water sign that brings in the intuitive side of it, brings in the emotional side of it, which I just like feel you embodying so much for us. And so I love having you on the podcast because I think a lot of times Scorpios maybe don't always feel fully seen by their sign. I think it's one of those signs where people are like, I don't even, a few Scorpios I know don't even like astrology because it's like every time they tell someone they're a Scorpio, people are like, ooh, Do you get that reaction? And when did you say, oh, actually, yeah, I am a Scorpio, that makes sense? Or did you always feel like a Scorpio?
I mean, for sure, Scorpios get that reaction. It's going to be like, you're going to sting me. No. I'm not. Maybe we have the power to, but we're going to choose wisely.
Yeah.
Um, and I think, yeah, I mean, if you look at my life and my career, I've always resonated with Scorpio and only seen it as like a really cool power that I can wield wisely.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's been a source of strength for me. I grew up in a house of my two sisters are Scorpios. So I've been
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Oh my God.
all three of us.
Wow.
It's never been an energy that I shy away from in myself or in others.
Whoa. What's that like?
We're good.
Yeah, where do you fall in the lineup?
I am the baby. I'm the
You're the
little one.
baby. Okay. And are they all practicing martial arts?
No, no, I'm the only wild one who took it to the
Okay.
extreme, who went real literal with that warrior.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. When
yeah,
did you learn you were a Leo moon? I always feel like that's like a pivotal moment in one's life where they're like, oh wow, okay.
it had to be my very first reading with Heidi, which was like
Hmm.
15, 16, something like that, years ago at least. Um,
Hmm.
and that made me so, again, there was something comforting about that with the Scorpio. And
Yeah.
I know Heidi sometimes speaks to kind of the childhood side, and that was me. As a child, I was like big, let me perform, look at me, high, fearless as far as being seen.
Hmm.
Sometimes Scorpio wants to win the day and be like, hide out, don't
Yeah.
look at me. So they're a gift to each other.
Yeah. 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 This moment in time is so intense. There's so much happening in the world. I would imagine that people who are coming to work with you, the embodiment of it allows them to process their emotions of a lot of what's going on in the world. Is there a memory that's coming to mind for you or for someone that you've been working with where maybe they broke down crying or like had to move through like an intense moment? Because when it's that somatic, like it's like, I just even know from practicing yoga that I've been in a child pose once and the teacher just came and gently put their hand on my lower back, and I just started crying. I was like, where did that come from? So do
Right.
you ever have like certain kind of like what emotions come up? Anger,
Every,
right? Anger.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
everything, Jeff. I mean, and it's every day. It's a constant because I am allowing people permission to go to places that are intense. It's always been about inside out for me. It's never been about aesthetics or like looking. It's always been about like the inner work that leads to a side effect that's great, but it's always about what's going on inside. And right now with the state of the world, almost feel like a responsibility to step forward. It's part of why I'm like, let's get Lunar League out there. Because people have to have a place to put some of this. Otherwise, it gets
Yeah.
wielded in really challenging ways at themselves, at others, whatever. And so I'm constantly, we always laugh because it's like everyone's on the verge of tears or rage. It's just like a
Yeah.
constant, like,
Yeah.
which one are we going to do right now? And so this allows somewhere to channel, somewhere to put, somewhere to release, all of the feels that we are all fighting with daily. But it's like, oh, thank goodness I have this hour or whatever it might be to like move these through or move these out or channel them or, whatever it might be so that I can like walk a little bit stronger, a little bit more steady out in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think you just gave us the title of this episode, On the Verge of Tears or Rage. Scorpio Full Moon. So you're living it all the time, but that's what we might be feeling on the Scorpio full moon. And so
For sure.
yeah, so you're a Ninjutsu sun with a Muay Thai moon and a Wing Chun rising.
Yeah.
So there's a thing I like to do. It's called personal myth making. You've actually done it before at the Radiant Life retreats, but it's where we take your sun, moon, and rising and we make a little story. These are preset phrases. So I'm going to share with you yours.
Love it.
Trust the first memory or thought or idea that comes to mind when you hear it. So you are we could say the intuitive Scorpion, Scorpio sun. The sun sign is the character,
Okay.
the piercing, intuitive Scorpion. The moon is the backdrop, front and center on stage, Leo moon. What are you doing on stage? Ensuring the revolution will be peaceful, Libra rising. So it's the piercing, intuitive Scorpion, front and center on stage, ensuring the revolution will be peaceful.
Hmm.
What does that bring up for you?
It brings up, and I'm going to totally ruin it, but there's like a phrase like to I'm not going to get any of the words right. The gist of it is you have to know war to choose peace.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I don't know, that's what's coming in me is that so much of this and so much of like the true martial artist way, of course, is you have this arsenal of skills that you hopefully never use.
Yeah.
And because you have that, you can choose to not use them. If you've never played in that realm, if you don't have a big arsenal, you're just, there's no other option.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think it's bringing up too, I guess, how aligned this moment in my life is. You know,
Yeah.
that
Hmm.
those three that you just mentioned in that gorgeous way makes so much sense for what I'm trying to launch into the world. It really is
Yeah.
a combination of those the warrior intuitive Scorpio self with the like playfulness and light and like heart forward of
Hmm.
of the Leo with that collective of the Libra.
And you have like a workshop coming up this
I,
weekend. Did I see that? Is it
yeah,
this weekend? Yeah. Could you tell us about that?
for sure. Because Lunar League, besides the fun merch, has always been
Yeah.
like, getting people together to move.
Yeah.
It needs to move. And so this is our second one. We just did Aries. It was amazing. And every single month I'm going to do
Ah,
sign. Yes.
cool.
And this one is Taurus, which it's just so exciting. Again, for me, my way into astrology has always been through the body. That's my understanding of how things move. Um,
Yeah.
and so I know how Taurus moves, and for people
Mm.
to actually be able to feel it in their body, and I felt this even from the Aries workshop, then you get to like utilize that all month. You can do
Yeah.
one of those movements, or you can kind of call back to once it's in your body, it's in there. And
Yeah.
call on it on any time when you need that energy.
Yeah. So it's Taurus season right now,
Hmm.
and we have seven planets, planetoids, and asteroids in Aries. So there's a lot of Aries energy, which also feels very supportive of this kind of work. But could you maybe connect us to what Taurus's form of martial arts is,
Oh, for sure.
just since we're in Taurus season? And also, are these workshops in person in Los Angeles? Are they online on Zoom? Or like, how might people attend them?
They are in person at the moment at my studio in Los Angeles in Highland Park, Forge Studio. We'll have to go online. I want to reach a
Yeah,
broader
yeah,
because there's only so many humans that can be in here, and I love the in person, but I want to extend beyond. So soon,
yeah, yeah.
there'll be many more offerings online. But Taurus is judo, and Taurus to me for sure had to be wrestling. Um,
Mhm.
it has that very, very grounded nature, a very strong stance, right? The reason I chose judo specifically is because it's a beautiful form. Like I never want to lose the sight of the beauty of Taurus, the Venus influence, and judo is kind of I'm going to stand my ground and again use anything you're going to go flying, but I'm going to stand my ground. There's a
Yeah.
real patience to it, choosing the right moment to be able to throw your opponent. Um, yeah, a real steadiness, a real strength, exerting power. It's what is the phrase? Maximum maximum efficiency, minimum effort
I love that.
is how they use that what they use to describe judo, and that feels like Taurus to me.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Also is kind of my favorite hikes are like that too, where it's like low stakes, high reward. You don't have to like go too far, but then you have an epic view. And I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh, this is such a Taurus hike. I went on a hike like that recently. Um, yeah, true or false? You used to be a professional wrestler.
True, true, Jeff. WWE.
Wow. So I can also feel your big three personal myth there too, like the intuitive Scorpion front and center on stage, like the Leo moon, maybe, because I think of that as like having an element of like drama to it. Would
Oh,
you agree?
a little bit of drama. It's so over the top. It's
Yeah.
wild characters. It's like
Hmm.
stepping into, it's big, it's bold, it's insane. But for sure that resonates with some of this as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And what made you step away from that chapter of your life?
Let me do this delicately. Love the in-ring work, love the
Hmm.
athleticism, loved stepping into some of these characters, didn't love the company or culture.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of us can relate to that because there's many people right now with all the energy that's shifting into areas that are leaving like corporate jobs and really just stepping into their truth and their passion. And so you are a guiding light for us doing that. Yeah. So you have a studio in Highland Park that people can come and say hi to you
Yes, please.
and book a workshop with you.
Yes.
So okay, there's also a thing I like to do on the podcast that is called Whimsical Wanderings. And it's where I ask you a series of questions. There's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of like choose your own adventure. And it's going to be, you just try to answer them as quickly as you can. It'll be a message for us for this Scorpio full moon. And then we'll kind of unpack it on the other side. Do you feel open to trying whimsical wanderings?
Sure.
Okay. So let's drop into the energy of Scorpio. Scorpio is withdrawing from the world today because,
It's too much. There's too many feelings about it. Too heavy.
yeah. In the quiet of this inner sanctum, they knew it was time to confront this deeper fear.
Of being seen, of sharing their real truths that they might feel are too scary or that they might be judged for, but that
Mhm,
need to be shared.
mhm. To face this fear, Scorpio goes to this place in nature.
The beach, the ocean.
Yes, the
Uh,
ocean.
yeah, a run along the ocean, a dive into the ocean.
Ooh. I was
Yeah,
gonna ask you what we're gonna do at the ocean. So it's a run along the ocean, a dive into the ocean.
yeah.
While they're in the ocean, this animal comes to them as a spirit guide in this moment.
A dolphin comes to them. A
Wow,
dolphin
okay, we're
comes
getting
to them, yes.
hmm
A playful, intelligent, amazing dolphin. Yes.
So the dolphin bestows upon them what? What gift? Like, so I'm hearing playfulness.
Yes, the dolphin tells them it's okay. We love that you're diving deep, sweetheart. We love it. Treasures down there. You gotta surface though. You gotta sometimes come up and do a little flipsy doos above the water and have joy with your pod.
Mhm.
We like to swim together and dive through the waves because that's also really valuable and important for you.
They're also very sexual creatures, those dolphins.
Well, I can't help. The Scorpio's seeping out, buddy. I can't help it.
When Scorpio gets out of the water, they then adorn themselves with what?
I'm gonna go with first thing that
Mhm.
shows up, even if it's insane. That really heavy seaweed, the like long
Whoa.
strips of seaweed that yeah,
Okay. What color is this seaweed?
dark green.
Dark green.
Hmm?
Now that Scorpio is covered in this dark green seaweed, they approach a gate. They open the gate and cross through into a new world. What is on the other side of the gate?
Mm. Caves, but caves of wonder. These beautiful, like bright caves with the stalagmite, the things that come down. I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna ruin that. Um, yeah, it's lush, it's bright, and it's a series of caves.
Wow. As they stand in this charged place, a Scorpio ancestor steps forward. It could be someone that you know that's passed away that was a Scorpio, or it could be one of these Scorpios that have passed away. Georgia O'Keeffe, Bob Ross, Dylan Thomas.
Bob, painter Bob.
These are some beautiful, colorful caves.
Yeah.
What is Bob Ross's message to us in this moment?
He says the best healing and balm and service to this world and to you, my sweet Scorpio, is to stay true to the gorgeous artist in you. Share your art widely with everyone, no matter how tough it gets. You must keep your colorful
Mhm.
art going and out into the world.
Beautiful. Now I'm going to pull a card, a tarot card. So here with Bob Ross in this cave, maybe Bob Ross is shuffling the tarot deck in this scene. We have this new tarot deck. It's called Soul Tarot that was just sent to me in the mail. I got it this week by my dear friend Lindsay Mack. It's gorgeous. Here's the backing. It has these blue spirals. And I'm going to pull us a card for the Scorpio Full Moon here in this magical, colorful cave with Bob Ross and the energy of the dolphin. We receive the Page of Cups.
Okay.
Cups is water.
Mm.
Pages are children. So this is it's a very all these are very Bob Ross, Dolphin, Page of Cups. It's very whimsical. Here's the Page of Cups. It's in this deck, it's a frog
Gorgeous.
on a lily pad. So I'm gonna read to us their little message here. The Page of Cups is one of my favorite cards. I feel very seen by the Page of Cups personally. Page of Cups. What is life without a connection to wonder and awe? When we need more of that, or when we've lost our connection to the spark, to that spark and sense of play, the Page of Cups will arise in our readings. This energy invites us to reconnect with our innate sense of magic and imagination, allowing our inner child to be a guide. Your inner child knew about play and adventure. Let them help you come back home to what you might have forgotten. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
I think all of that is so. I mean, when I think about Bob Ross, like he is actually a war veteran
Mm,
and then started becoming addicted to alcohol, was like an alcoholic.
sure.
And that's how he healed and processed his trauma was through painting. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that side of Bob Ross, but
Yeah.
that's because when I
Didn't.
learned he was Scorpio, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna like go deeper into, I want to learn more about this. And it makes so much sense. But I actually find the Scorpios that I know and love, including you, have this very kind of joyful, childlike quality, actually. They're really fun. And I
Yeah.
think the dolphin showing up is reminding us of that too. So it's a very, very different side to Scorpio. And I always think about how Halloween's during Scorpio season. There's a lot
Sure,
of inner child healing that takes place.
for
Yeah,
sure.
so now that we're on the other side of that whimsical wandering that we went on, what's standing out to you right now?
That can sometimes the play, the whimsy, the colors, the art, can sometimes be a nice antidote when things get challenging. For me, often it's movement, which I will utilize forever. You
Mhm.
know, if I'm spiraling, if I'm in too dark of a cave, I'm like, "Ooh, you got to move, you got to run, you got to kick, you got to whatever." But also that can be a tool too of like, what is your version of play, or what is your version of painting or color or whimsy? Um, Not to avoid the challenging places, but if they're getting too much and you become kind of paralyzed by it, what is the way out so that you can process and be of service and all of those things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love that, you said it, Scorpio didn't want to go out in the world today because it's too heavy.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then they're facing their fear of being judged.
Hmm.
Meet a dolphin, but then put on like the heaviest thing they could possibly put on, which is like seaweed. So it's still just like heavy, but yeah, mystical, mystical. It's making me think of Sedna. Sedna is one of the newer planets that have been discovered, which
Hmm.
is called a TNO, which is a trans-Neptunian object. She's out past Pluto,
Mm.
and she's coming up in the collective more because of her recent discovery. But
Hmm.
Sedna is the goddess of the ocean,
Mm.
and she was betrayed by her father.
Mm.
He cut her fingers off and threw her into the ocean, and she fell to the bottom of the ocean. And out of her, like, I guess, wounds, sea creatures were born. And then her
Mm.
hair grew long like seaweed.
Sure.
So that image of being covered in seaweed is making me think of Sedna. I brought Sedna up on this week's podcast when I was looking at the astrology of the week because
Hmm.
Uranus just shifted into Gemini and Sedna is just shifted into Gemini. So actually Uranus and Sedna are aligned in the sky all year. Um, so I'm actually releasing a workshop on Sedna on the
Nice.
Taurus new moon in 2 weeks, but I'm opening it up for enrollment on the Scorpio full moon. So when you brought in like the seaweed, it's very
Sure.
Sedna. So she actually has to have like other creatures come and like comb her hair because she has no fingers. So even like there's like images of like little like sea otters coming down and combing Sedna's hair.
Love this. So you know I'm going to do a deeper dive on this now too after the end. Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
It's also making me think of the girl from The Ring
Mm.
with the hair in the face.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're getting close to the end of our time together. There's just a few other things that I want to check in with before we close out. But one of them is I see is that a little scorpion tail I see peeking out?
It is. It
Yes.
is.
Could you tell us about the artist for these t-shirts? So you have t-shirts, one for each zodiac sign, that depict the martial arts form or that goes with each sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
The artist was Jordan Kotzebue. He's a friend of mine from high school, if you can believe it.
Wow.
And I think the beautiful part of this, everything was by hand. You know, he started with these very, very, very rough sketches and would send me, he'd call them like thumbnails, of like kind of this. I would basically send him a one sheet of all the
Hmm.
information about the sign, about the martial art form. I would send him a beautiful board, like a vision board of what I felt around this, and then he would start sketching, and we'd go
Wow.
back and forth 1,000 times,
Hmm. Yeah.
1,000 times to get it right. But everything, yeah, everything was done by hand, and that was so important. And it was such a fun working relationship. He doesn't have a lot of, or didn't have a lot of knowledge about astrology.
Hmm.
Loved martial arts, but it was very fun to work with someone like that to also allow me kind of a mastery over what I was pitching, if that makes any
Hmm.
sense, because I
Hmm.
had to be
Hmm.
very, very clear. And by the end of it, I mean, it was also really fun that the signs revealed themselves in the working relationship. You know, some of them
Yeah.
came very quick. Some of them took ages. Some of them there's a lot of back and forth. But it was a really beautiful. Yeah, Jordan crushed it. He crushed it.
I'm a double Aquarius Virgo moon, so what does that make me?
The double Aquarius. That's your Jeet Kune Do, and that
Ah.
is. what Bruce Lee created after his training when he was over here. I love it so much. It just feels very Aquarius. He kind of went, wait, why are we sticking to like these specific forms and you're not allowed to like move out of this form and all the tradition? Why don't we just pull from all of them? And I'm going to pull from fencing and I'm going to pull from boxing and I'm going to pull from and create a new form that is really reliant on also like freedom of expression. Like, what are you bringing in today? Sure, that can be a move. There was so much freedom. It was very revolutionary. They credit him with kind of like almost one of the people who got MMA on the map a little bit more because it was combining all of these ways in that like visionary rebel sort of like
Mm.
I see this very outside the box and yeah, that's your Aquarius.
Double Jeet Kondo.
Jeet Kundo. Yes.
Hundo. Jeet
Kundo.
Kundo.
Yes. It's a beautiful form. Again, Bruce Lee, you've seen him do it all over the place, but it combines so many different worlds. And he created it, kind of shifting away from tradition into something very new and innovative and revolutionary.
Cool. And I'm a Virgo moon. What's Virgo?
Virgo is Tai Chi. It's
Love
too easy.
it.
It's too easy. It's just the precision required for Tai Chi. It's all about health of mind and body and spirit. And it's why there are practitioners who are 90 years old on the mountain going, I can still refine this. There is still, more discipline here that I can still get
Wow.
it. It's a lifelong commitment to health in all the ways. It's
Yeah.
very, I mean, you see that they'll do a move 100 times, you can still get it more precise. You know?
Yeah. My uncle has cancer and has
Mm,
started practicing
mm,
Tai Chi
mm,
as a way to bring overall like holistic healing to his life.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really interesting. Um, Well, Kendra, thank you so much for being a part of the Cosmic Cousins universe today. And if someone wanted to find out what their big three is there a website we could go and look at? Um, yeah,
Yes, yes. Please go to the website is thelunarleague.com. Also on Instagram at the Lunar League. That's going to be where you're going to find a lot of stuff. Please visit, follow, all the things. I'm, of course, real Kendra Smith, but get to Lunar League.
yeah. And I'll link them all up in the show notes so you can go and find easy access to that here in the notes to the podcast. And thanks for being with us today. What a joy.
I'm so honored. I'm so grateful. I adore you so deeply, Jeff. You're doing amazing work for the world.
Thank you. Right back at you. And I hope to see you soon.
Yes, please. Mwah.
I know I had to go to this place once in my life.
Thank you, as always, Cosmic Cousins, for tuning into the podcast. Without you, this would not be possible. Special shout out to Dara Schreiber and Jolie Kabrinsky for being founding members of the podcast. And also, the Sedna Workshop download is now available for purchase for pre-enrollment. It will come out in 2 weeks on May 16th. The Ocean of Betrayal, a deep dive into the wounded feminine, intuitive depth, and sovereign power. Sending you all off with a lot of love. Hope this Scorpio full moon is good to you, and I'll see you again on Monday in just a few days as we do the weekly weather. Take sweet care, cousins, and remember, deep breaths.